What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Eagles Checkdown, right here on the Eagles Pinpool Podcast Network. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel, bringing you the fastest under 10-minute Eagles podcast with news, notes, and opinions of our favorite team, the Philadelphia Eagles. You can find me, Phil Stiefel, on all social media platforms at Bearded Knowledge and hosting Trending in the AM Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9:30. Linked in the description below or linked in my bio if you find me on any social media platform. Today, it's Friday. It's October 4th. We've almost made it to the weekend, guys. That was a team effort. Great job, everybody. So this bye week's almost over. So we're going to continue on with opinions and theories and thoughts one final time before we turn the page to post-bye week next week. And the first thing I want to talk about today on this Friday episode is Howie Roseman and how much of the season struggles are on Howie Roseman. $96 million, a third round, and 2 fifth-round draft picks. Okay? 4 big mistakes, 3 on defense and 1 on offense, totaling $96 million, a third round, and 2 fifth-round picks. How much do we need to blame Howie Roseman for the Bryce Huff signing, 3 years, $51 million? Don't even ask me about the dead cap hit if you got rid of him early. It's insanity. He's played 71 passing downs. He's got 0 quarterback hits, 0 sacks. I think only 1 pressure so far. Huge mistake. And the question is, how much is Howie to blame? And the counter to that is, how much is it the coaching and the players just not executing? Do you blame Howie Roseman for that? Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, $27 million. He's second in the league with 8 missed tackles. He's tied for the lead, giving up 3 touchdowns in coverage. I mean, and I don't even know if he got a missed tackle credit on the goal line last week where he just ran away from it. I don't think that counts as a missed tackle. It's $27 million there. Devin White, $7.5 million. Has not played a single down or been active yet. And he's out there chirping on social media, supporting our opponents. And then you trade a third and 2 fifth-round picks for Jahan Dotson, who in 4 games, 3 of which without A.J. Brown, has 5 catches in 9 targets. So my question to you, and you can find me on social media, you can come on Trending in the AM, or I don't know if you can leave responses on iTunes or Spotify, but how much of the blame deserves to be on Howie Roseman? That's $96 million, third-round pick, and 2 fifth-round picks for 4 players that have given you nothing. Absolutely nothing. Now, Bryce Huff, I think it's some technique, some not technique. You know, we heard Brian Baldinger talk about how he needs to be in the 4-point stance more versus standing up and dropping into coverage. But still, Bryce Huff needs to be better at it. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, we knew he was a boom-bust player, but there's a reason why he's gone on 4 different teams in 4 different years. Okay? You know, he chirping and everything else that he does. Devin White. I put out a tweet on Devin White a few weeks ago, and I got crushed by Bucs fans saying, good riddance of him. Glad he's with you and not with us. Maybe we just should have seen that Devin White was a problem. And Jahan Dotson. Maybe there was a reason the Washington Commanders were so easily and eager to get rid of him. And maybe Howie, Mr. Howie is the king of all trades. It's about time he lost one. I think Howie Roseman definitely deserves a little bit more of the blame than what he is getting at this point. Yes, the coaching needs to be better. Yes, the execution needs to be better. But those are 4 massive mistakes. But it's only 4 games. We are only in week 5, the bye. There is time to turn it around with the easiest schedule in the NFL for the rest of the season, strength of schedule-wise. Here are some things that the Eagles can do. We saw the Eagles bench Jalen Carter for a drive 2 weeks ago because of missing team meetings. It's time to set an example with a veteran. Bench Darius Slay. Maybe not a whole game. Maybe not for the rest of the season. Maybe the first half of the football game. Send a statement that his antics off the field and his poor play on the field, whether you're a captain or not, will not be tolerated, will not be accepted. Maybe that is the first statement to bringing some discipline, bringing some control back to this team. Heck, bench Avonte Maddox. Let's be honest about Avonte Maddox. He stinks. Cooper DeJean's almost ready is what we're told. and I'm using hand signals here. You can't see my hand signals listening on the radio or listening on your phone, but I'm putting almost ready in quotation marks there. Cooper DeJean can't do any worse than what Avonte Maddox is doing. Bryce Huff, maybe put him in a better position to seed. We talked about Jalen Hurts yesterday, putting him in his position to seed. Put Bryce Huff in his, go look at his film from last year, Vic Fangio. You're this veteran coordinator for the last 40 years in the NFL. Watch that film and find a way to get him going. Another big thing, instead of benching, just flat out cut Devin White at this point. Because if you're not cutting Devin White, what's he doing? But stirring up drama. So much for that leadership group text message group he was in. And finally, the most important thing you could do to fix this season is keep Nick Sirianni out of the offensive playroom completely. We need him as far away from the offense as possible. This is Pershil Kapadia, okay? 30th in the NFL. The Eagles are, offensively speaking, in running plays under center. They've only ran 23 plays in 4 weeks under center, and only 6 of those play action. All right? With Saquon Barkley, with this new Kellen Moore offense, we expected more under center play, and we have not gotten it. And that is a product of Nick Sirianni. Let Kellen Moore free. Make him free. Keep him free. Let him actually drive the bus that you say to the media he is driving. But it seems he's not. That's how you fix it. I want to shout out my man Anthony DeBona for giving me some ideas for today's episode. Some of the stuff that we used today was from several of his great articles this week. Great guy for PFN. Shout out to everybody that I get information for this podcast. Guys, lock of the week. We're 1-1 on locks, okay? I got a lock of the week. All right? The Green Bay Packers are traveling to Los Angeles to play the Rams. The Rams are 3-point dogs, so the Packers are 3-point favorites. I'm taking the Green Bay Packers to win that game. They're going to win it handily. There's a couple games I really like this week. If you're betting, if you like to bet, if you're a degenerate like me, I like the Jags actually sneakily. They're 3-point favorites. I know they haven't won, but I think they get a win this week. The Colts aren't as good as people think. I also like the Broncos 2.5-point line over the Raiders. The Raiders are falling apart. I know Max Crosby tweeted something out that drove Eagles Nation crazy because he put a little eagle emoji. Supposedly he does that all the time and had nothing to do with him coming to Philly, but it is what it is. There's a lot of good games. And right now, just kicking off as I'm recording this Thursday night, Bucs Falcons, I'm really excited to sit down and watch that in a few minutes once I'm done recording this episode. Guys, it is the weekend, like I said, almost the weekend, okay? It's Friday morning when you're listening to this. We got there. The weekend is here. Team effort, guys. With that being said, we're going to wrap this up. Next week, we're back to a regular schedule of breaking down the Eagles week in and week out, guys. This is the Eagles Checkdown on the Eagles Pin Pull Podcast Network. Find me, Phil Stiefel, on Trending in the AM. I linked it in the description down below. You got to copy and paste it, but it is what it is. 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m., taking your opinions and thoughts on all Philadelphia sports. Go Phillies this weekend as well. It's Red October. So instead of go Birds, we're going to say ring the bell and bubbles up to y'all.